Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. Good show tonight. We've got Peter with Princesses of the Mouse Disney Travel joining us tonight. We're going to do a new segment, a top three, and then we'll kind of figure out if we're going to do a deep dive or talk some Lorcana. Peter's got Lorcana cards in his hand, so it looks like we're talking Lorcana tonight. So, stick with us. Let's get to the show. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses of the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. What's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. Another Tuesday night, so that means we've got another DPI live show. I've got Peter with Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel over on the other screen. And we're going to have a good show tonight. We've got some camera issues figured out. It should work out really well tonight. So as long as the internet holds, we should be good. So let me go ahead. Let's bring over Peter with Princesses of the Mouse Disney Travel, and let's see what's going on. Mr. Salvadori, how you doing tonight? Tired. I saw that you had a few packs of Lorcana cards when you were jumping on before it started. Nice, some Floodborn, all your beast packs.
I did. I bought packs, and they go, "Yeah, which ones you want?" I go, "You give me all the beast ones."
No, that's funny. We haven't talked Lorcana in a little while. I've done a few like Pixelborn segments with you not on the show a couple weeks. So yeah, it's been interesting. Definitely learning a lot. That is for sure. That is for sure. So let's go ahead. Let's get into the news. Not a ton of news this week, so should be relatively quick. So we'll go ahead and get the timer on, and we will go from there. And we should have 15 minutes, but the screen never changed over. That's interesting. So we've got 15
minutes.
Yeah, we don't have 15 minutes worth of news, so it's okay. News, dual screen camera, dual camera, timer. There. 14:15. Okay, perfect. We'll do it that way, since it wants to be weird. So really there's only a couple of things going on this week at Disney. First off, casting went out for performers for the new Little Mermaid show coming to Walt Disney World. Why don't you tell people where that show is going to be located?
So the new Little Mermaid show, very excited about it because we've talked about this building right now. Is just honestly, with that building not being functional, that whole area over there is just kind of like a completely forgotten area at this point, in my opinion. So when you're heading into Hollywood Studios and you're going up towards that Chinese theater, if you turn to the right to head over, like right now, really the only reason to turn right just about is to go up over to the Toy Story Land area.
Yeah.
You'll notice a big building with a Little Mermaid on it, and that is because that used to be the Little Mermaid show, and now this brand new show is going to go back into that building. There was a lot of rumors and reports coming out of COVID that the building's air conditioning failed, and so it became a hot, humid mess, and then that turned into just a giant mold infestation, and so they had to completely re-gut the theater. And so they said, while we're doing all of this, we might as well we got to build a completely new stage set, and so we might as well just scrap and start from the ground up and develop a completely new show, story, songs, cast, all that stuff. So,
yeah, and the old show was very much a 90s retelling of the Little Mermaid with lasers and all kinds of fun stuff.
mm-hmm.
It was very much just a retelling of the story. What do you expect change-wise? Do you expect any big changes to the show, or, I mean, what are your guesses? What are your hunches on this?
Yeah, no, I just don't know. I don't know, because I really haven't seen much about it in terms of report-wise,
yeah,
in terms of inklings. So I could see very easily, I could see them kind of doing what they did before, but switching it up to make it more in line with the live action one, seeing as the live action meet and greet is right near there. And so if those meet and greet characters have any type of vocal skills, there's a chance those individuals could just come over and get straight cast into this new show. I could see that happening, I guess, is my expectation, is that they will make this new show in line with Ariel and the new Little Mermaid, versus going all the way back to the cartoon one. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty similar to the old show. But to be honest with you, the old show was kind of like drab.
It was.
Like, because you're inside, you're in this closed building. The theater was kind of dingy. It was poor lighting. It was a lot of like set pieces for the characters. So it didn't draw you in like Nemo does, where even the fish are live voice acting singers. It was just a lot of set pieces going around. Beauty and the Beast draws you in because, even in the Beast Castle scene when they're doing Be Our Guest and all that, very, very cool choreography. Frozen show draws you in because you get Sir Eric because he went to night school. Right? So you've got all these things that the other shows do that kind of make them a unique experience, sort of like Broadwaying up many of the situations. And so I hope at least we get that, like more actors, a better choreography than exactly like you said. It was basically Ariel sitting on a shell singing, and then Ariel walking around, and then there just wasn't a lot to be like, wow, I really got to go see that show again. We go to the Frozen show just about every time we visit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. You think about some of the shows, the Frozen show, Festival of the Lion King, those types of shows are like mainstays in a lot of people's trips to where they do it every time. So, yeah, this definitely needs something to kind of get it up to that level, so that it can be a people suck there, because they definitely need another people suck at Hollywood Studios now, with it being one of the more popular parks with, Mickey and Minnie's and the Star Wars rides and Toy Story. It's got a lot that it needs to pull people from that as well. So, no, yeah, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do to it. We'll kind of see here eventually. I mean, if they're casting, it means we're probably close to 6 months out, if they're going to be doing a whole new show. So that's where we're going to kind of put it there. Other news at Walt Disney World, we got another discount for Disney Visa card members, and it's just another one of those tiered 35 to 20s. And what was it? March 25th through April 27th, and then some of them are March 25th through June 29th. So just adding to that after spring break or middle of spring break, I guess you would say, because a lot of schools are later spring breaks this year, with Easter being on the 31st. And then through the beginning of summer, about halfway through summer now. So, some of them, Disney All-Star Movies Resort, All-Star Music Resort, $129 a night. That's relatively good price for All-Star. It's getting back to that pre-COVID level pricing with some of that. Caribbean Beach down to $229 a night. Boardwalk down to $419 a night. So lots of rooms available. Maximum 14 night stay. So it's a relatively big one. Peter, what are you seeing on the travel side? I mean, to me, it just feels like it's just not picking up, and they just keep throwing deal after deal after deal after deal at it, trying to get more people to book.
Yep, you summed it up. I was talking to so Princess and the Mouse works with Moments of Adventure Travel. So Moments of Adventure Travel is kind of like, I can't say the parent, but sort of like the sponsor of Moments of Adventure. And so I was talking to the individual, kind of the owner of that, and we were talking about the bookings and everything that we have going on, and I was kind of going through mine and he was kind of going through his, and we both kind of said the same thing about March and April. Is just I don't have a lot on the books, very, very little on the books, in fact. And he was kind of saying, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. There's just not a lot. It's kind of interesting because you just expect that spring break would be, a relatively big time of year, but the fact of the matter is it's really not. If you go into Disney, we're 2 months out from April,
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, and even for land, we did our reservation, our dining reservations. We had our 60-day out a few weeks ago, and it was like, pick your restaurant anytime, any day. Yeah. Whenever you wanted to go, you could go, and I thought that was relatively crazy. And even Carnation Cafe and some of the character breakfasts and that kind of stuff that I felt like should be relatively hard to get. It was, what time do you want to do it? So, right. So I mean, it just seems like, and it's showing through the way that they're doing the deals right now. It seems like that reservations are way down, and they're trying to figure out a way to pick it up.
Yeah, so like, for example, we're going there in 2 months, and so I'm just kind of looking, towards the end of our trip, and so this is like 60 days out. I mean, all sorts of stuff. There's just a bunch of Chef Art Smiths. Those are normally booked up. Here, let me turn on some different parks. Let's look at Magic Kingdom, for example. Stakeout, Crystal Palace Plaza, Tony's, Whispering Canyon, like everything's got some lunch times. Oh my gosh, yeah, there's just so much. Here's let's see, Cinderella. Let's see if Cinderella's Royal Table has some. Yeah, that one is filled up, so that does make sense. But yeah, just lots of stuff available for sure on these days where you kind of expected them to be kind of filled up.
Yeah, and again, we've kind of been on top of this, where we've expected this. We got through all of the vouchers from COVID, and then we got through the revenge travel, basically, which was most of last year. And now we're into the economy isn't great, and nobody wants to travel because they've used up all their credit card space, time, and you're seeing that. You're seeing not a lot of people wanting to travel. Even in casual conversations that I have around work and that kind of stuff, it just feels like people are wanting to stay home and kind of conserve money this year a little bit more. So it's very interesting on the travel side. We came from, when we started this in 2019, talking about, let's in 5 years, let's figure this out. And then COVID hit, and it kind of really changed everything for us. So yeah. But yeah, if you're looking for a deal, God, there's lots of deals right now, and it's both parks and Disney Cruise Line still through the 16th is 50% off the deposit on most sailings this year. So, and does that extend into next year now too? I want to say it extends into spring of 25.
Part of, it extends into the beginning of next year.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking at a Disney cruise and you have, we were looking at something on the Wish, a 4-night on the Wish, and it was a $500 deposit.
Yeah, what would we say, just like, what would you say is kind of peak spring break time? Like the week of the 1st?
Yeah, probably either that last weekend, like the week before Easter or the week after Easter.
Yeah, so here, I'm just going to look like hypothetically at Disney World at basically that weekend, like getting there Wednesday and leaving the following Tuesday.
All right.
So here are basically every resort has some availability. All 3 All-Stars, Pop, Art, Coronado, both Port Orleans, Caribbean, Animal Kingdom, Saratoga, Old Key West, Wilderness. They're all available, and then let's go in and just see if we can get a deal for. Yeah, so that's over Easter weekend. Right?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be like one of the busiest times of year. We'll just click a generic. I'm gonna click a generic offer that literally anybody in the world can get, because it has absolutely no caveats or requirements. And
yeah, just do like the stay longer.
That's exactly what I clicked on. So I can get a stay longer deal at all 3 All-Stars, Pop, Coronado, Art of Animation, both Port Orleans, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Saratoga. Right. So, and that's during arguably peak spring break, over Easter weekend, like all of that stuff. And we are under 2 months out, because I know I went 60 days out on my spring break a week ago.
Yeah, that's just crazy to say. I mean, we haven't been able to say that other than the year of COVID. In the year of COVID,
will it still be busy? Like, sure, I guarantee it's still going to end up being busy. I don't expect to go there and be like, oh my God, look at this 20-minute 7 doors wait time at noon. It's still going to be.
Yeah, but when you're talking about the difference between 80% capacity and 55 or 60% capacity, that's a huge difference though. Because yeah, you might not get that 25-minute wait time on 7 Dwarfs, but you will get that on Space Mountain. You will get that on Big Thunder Mountain. You'll get it on those second tier rides, and you'll notice it more there than you will on your top tier rides. So
right, so like 7 Dwarfs, instead of peaking to like 120, is going to peak at like 90, but Haunted Mansion's going to be 30 all day.
Yeah, exactly. So, last thing at the news, we just hit zeros on the news. Disney World is beginning to test bag check X-ray machines. Yay! I get stopped every freaking time.
They don't just stop you, man. They like pull up the curtain. They start lubing the fingers.
Just because of the camera gear, I get stopped every time we're at the parks. And if this works in a similar fashion to what they're using at airports, I will get stopped about half the time now. Because some of the lenses just still look like just big cylinders of metal in the X-ray machines, and they have to check them out. But it's better than nothing. It's better than having to go through every pocket of every bag every time. So any little win I can get at the parks, I'm gonna take. Anything else that you're seeing at the parks, man?
Tokyo Disney Sea is opening a, forget the name of the land, but it's basically like Peter Pan and Tangled and
Yeah. So their new port's getting ready to it officially opens here soon.
Right.
They did a media thing a while ago, a few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So that is really I'm being torn in so many different directions of which overseas park I want to get to, because they keep doing cool stuff.
Yeah. 2027 Asia parks. Do 3 weeks. We'll hit every park except for Paris and World. So, and Alani. We'll hit Alani as well.
Who are you talking to?
You
doing that, or we're doing that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, you're gonna have to help me book it, so.
Sounds like a lot.
It's gonna be a lot. I've already.
Tired.
All right, sounds good. Are you ready for a top 3?
That's the only reason I'm here.
Sounds good. Let's do a top 3. Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. Over on the other screen over there, I have Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, and it is top 3 time. It's on top of me. If you've been here before, you know what we do. We pull a chip out. It's a random category. We have 30 seconds to come up with our top 3 or bottom 3 for that category. Peter, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to finish decorating this room. There's just decor everywhere.
All right. Tonight we have poker chip number 8. And it's amazing when the camera does the thing it's supposed to do. And number 8 is going to be, I actually have this up and everything today. It is a listener question. Listener question. J-Bo, your top 3 vacation planning mistakes. You got 30 seconds.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. All right, top 3 vacation planning mistakes. So we are combined, what would you say, 40-ish trips now?
I have no idea. I don't know if I want to count. Sounds like a bad idea.
All right, and we have made our fair share of mistakes. So Peter, why don't you start out with your number 3?
This could be higher, this could be lower. I'm gonna actually go with like a ridiculously specific thing.
Okay.
Because, and then I'll see what you say, and then I'll maybe make my 2 and my 1 a little bit more broad. My number 3 vacation planning mistake is going to be our guest with really small children.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because, so here was the great thing about Be Our Guest up until COVID. Breakfast and lunch were quick service, and the meals, the menus were awesome, and it was great because you could kind of go in with kids and they would bring you the food, and so then the kids could see the West Wing and the ballroom and the library and kind of see it all and experience it all. And so little kids, right, quick meal, so when they start fussing, you could be like, sweet, we're done, let's pack up, let's get out of here. and it was awesome. Well, since COVID, since the reopening, Be Our Guest lunch, the breakfast is gone, and lunch is now the same as dinner, which means you're going to pay over $60 per adult and over $40 per kid. And to be completely truthful, the kids menu is not all that kid friendly, and the adult menu is fine French cuisine.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I'm not necessarily looking for like escargot and and fillets at 1 p.m. And I'm also not looking to spend $40-something because people go there thinking, oh, it's Beast Castle. There's a character. You get to meet Beast in the parlor if you wait in line.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an Akershus. It's not a Cinderella's Royal Table. It's not a Crystal Palace. It's not Hollywood and Vine. Like, the list goes on and on. It's not Tusker House. It's not all of those things. It is a fine French restaurant that is not a character meet and greet. It's just a lot of things right now. And I have talked to several people, clients, just people that I meet that have said kind of the same idea. Like, Be Our Guest is just not, it's trying to be too many things.
Yes.
If you wanna sell the location, then make it a family friendly experience. If you wanna sell fine French cuisine, then get your ass in Monsieur Paul and get out of Beast Castle.
Yeah, yeah.
The menu doesn't match the location, and the location doesn't match the menu. So people go there for the location, and then they get disappointed by the menu, and then you're left with this massive cost. Go to Cinderella's Royal Table. It costs almost the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, I mean, you can make that a larger one. It's just kind of understanding your menus and understanding your pricing and that kind of stuff before you go. That makes a big deal. That's one thing that, with our trip going out the land that we have coming up, that we went through all the restaurants and looked at what do they have, what's the pricing, what kid options do they have, are our kids going to eat there, that kind of stuff. We did not do Blue Bayou. We're doing Cafe Orleans though. So.
Oh, that's right. Where I was on the camera.
Yep.
It's
So.
my favorite restaurant, man.
I'm gonna get a Monte Cristo. Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep. That's the first night that we're there. We're at Cafe Orleans. So.
I did the same thing, man. My first day there, I was like, give me a lunch reservation at Cafe Orleans. So.
All right. So my number 3. I'll keep it relatively simple, and it's excessive park hopping. I feel like not enough people understand that, especially Walt Disney World is 43 acres or 43,000 acres. It's a large park. It's the size of San Francisco. And there's transportation between the parks, but it's not necessarily fast transportation. So if you have meals at Disney Springs and at different parks and that kind of stuff, you're going to spend most of your day on transportation and not enjoying the parks. So unless you're just going down there for the food and don't care about the rides, stay away from that that excessive park hopping. That is a good way to kill a vacation. So Peter, what is your number 2?
Yeah, that excessive park hopping is a very good point because, like, don't plan to start in Magic Kingdom if you have a 2 o'clock lunch in Epcot, but you plan to watch Fantasmic at night. Like, that eats up your day real quick. Make a dinner reservation in Disney Springs to where you can stay in the park till 4 or 5 o'clock. Slowly, leisurely get over to Disney Springs for a 7 o'clock dinner for sure. But
exactly.
And don't set it up to where you have to park hop just for the sake of park hopping. I'm a big fan of on the counter of Matt's. I'm a really big fan of kind of plan where you want to start your day and make yourself like between noon and 2 o'clock reservation in that park. Sit down at that meal and discuss what do we want to do next.
Yeah.
Okay, So I am gonna go my number 2. This is like mistakes, rookie mistakes, whatever. My number 2 is not planning for water. Like that's a bad planning. That's a rookie mistake.
Oh yeah.
If you do something, whether it's have a little thermos inside of your backpack or have a couple of Dasani water bottles that you're just going to refill over and over again, or kind of have enough knowledge of the park to know where the quick service locations are. I think so. Right, when the 4 of us were just down there a few months ago, we were sitting there one day and we didn't have our water bottles were empty. We were sitting there super thirsty. I had to like shove up the side of Friar's Nook to get us all a bit of water, because the lines were all long and we were super thirsty, and we just hadn't watched our water consumption very well. And it has nothing to do with drinking because we're at Magic Kingdom. But a lot of like rookie people, and even on like the cooler days, you still have to watch your water consumption and make sure you're taking in lots of water. Because even on a cooler day where you don't feel yourself sweating, you're still walking 15,000 steps or more. Like your body is still expending the water that is inside. And on those super hot days, you got to be making sure that you are just drinking water galore. And if you don't plan accordingly, you're going to find yourself buying $4 Dasanis over and over again and really eating into your budget for experiences and treats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is there's free water all around the park. You just have to know how to get it and what to look for, and always bring a thermos with you. Grab 3 cups of water from it, fill it all up, drink it over the course of the next hour. Right?
Yep.
Fill, drink, repeat.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, I don't think people plan for that very much, especially rookies.
Yeah, they don't. And until you experience it, until you make the mistake, you really don't know unless somebody tells you, hey, make sure that you've got a Contigo or a Stanley or something with you, and keep filling that bad boy up. And again, like you said, it's free at the quick service restaurants. Most of them will have them just sitting on the counter waiting for people to grab them because they know they're going to grab them relatively fast. So, no, that is a good one. So my number 2 is eating at traditional times. So, I am a big fan of kind of really planning my meals around what we're doing at the parks. And that means eating breakfast before we get to the park. So grabbing either breakfast outside of a park or at one of those restaurants inside the park that opens before park open. And then we try and do later lunches and earlier dinners. So, we may do just 2 meals a day and do like a snack in between, or do a later lunch and do a dessert, something like a dessert, go get Mickey bars or go get the waffle or whatever somewhere. And that's really, you want to get away from that eating at like 9 o'clock right at park open, because that is one of the best times to go in and get stuff done at the parks. You have your high crowds, but they're going to certain rides, and you can really knock out some of those second tier rides right off the bat and get a lot done at the beginning of the Meg. Should have just put, if you let us stop and get a snack. There's no stopping. This train just keeps going. But yeah, so eating that breakfast early, getting lunch at a non-traditional time. A lot of people are going to eat lunch in that 11 to 1 period. Gives you a chance to get some rides done in that period, and then maybe get a 1 or a 2 o'clock reservation and miss some of those crowds again. Same thing with dinner. Stay away from that like 4 to 6:30 time frame. One of our favorite hacks is eating at restaurants that are in view of fireworks. So, eating at Tep and Edo and then walking out a half hour before the fireworks start at Epcot, or, eating the last reservation at Cinderella's Royal Table and you're actually in the lower level when the fireworks go off at Magic Kingdom. So knowing where you are and when the fireworks go off, you can really plan your meals really well, and get some cool experiences out of them as well. So yeah, so my number 2, kind of plan your meals at non-traditional times to beat some of the crowds. So, all right.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I really like, I mentioned it already in this episode. I'm a really big fan of like 2 o'clock lunch.
Yeah.
Because I can wake up, I can grab some quick service from my resort, maybe grab some snacks along the way between the 11 and noon hour, and then eat a nice big full meal, and then I just need another like quick service around 6, and I've got myself fed for the day.
And I think a lot of people sleep, especially on like your value resorts. They sleep on that breakfast there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we could eat those breakfast bagel sandwiches every morning.
When I stay at Riviera, at least one morning, I walk to Caribbean to get the breakfast bagel sandwiches because Riviera doesn't have that.
Yeah, all those ritzy people over at Riviera.
Yeah, I will. I will literally, if I wake up and it's clear my family is still like super asleep, I'll just leisurely walk over to Caribbean Beach, grab breakfast bagel sandwiches and maybe some waffle platters and whatever, walk it back, and then I'm a huge fan of those breakfast bagel sandwiches because they also come with tots and
yeah, so you don't have to order extra tots.
Opt in a bagel sandwich. Yeah, don't order extra tots.
All right, Peter. Before you get to your number 1, where can people find you?
Over on Facebook, as I said earlier, in the news and notes show that's tied to this episode. I would love to talk to you about April, but I'll settle for like October at this point because I don't have a lot to do. I'm waiting for some people to get some tax returns, and just remember, only $200 down books you your reservation. And gets the process started. So a lot of people think like you got to have these big exorbitant amounts of money. Nope, you got to have $200 and plans to receive or save the exorbitant amounts of money by the time you go. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go with my number 1, but I think my number 1 mistake, and this is what I try to avoid when I plan with my guests that I help, is make sure that your hotel matches your use. Right? Like, that is huge because so many people are like, well, I'm going down there, I have to stay at Polynesian. Well, I'm going down there, I have to stay at Contemporary. Well, I'm going down there, I have to...
Why?
Listen, well, it depends, right? Like, if I'm going for a week and I'm going to the parks 4 days, do I want a Polynesian or a Contemporary or a Wilderness Lodge? Yes, absolutely. But if I'm going for 4 nights and 5 park days, I guarantee you Caribbean Beach or Pop Century will look no different to you than Polynesian, whatever, other than the moment you arrive and the moment you leave every day. Because, like, one of my very first questions I ask my clients is, so let's talk about the resort. Are you looking for a place to lay your head, or are you looking for a place to vacation? Okay, you're looking for a place to lay your head. Now, in my mind, I have already said, okay, so let's see if they want a slightly nicer recreation area, in which case I'm aiming for Caribbean or a Port Orleans, or if they just don't even think they're really going to have time to hit the pool much, in which case I'm aiming for like a Pop, type of a conversation, because too many people go down there, spend $600 a night for your hotel, and then over a 4-night stay go to the pool twice. So you didn't take advantage of the bars, you didn't take advantage of the nightlife, you didn't take advantage of the extra family-friendly programming throughout the day in terms of movies, s'mores, tie-dye, arts and crafts, trivia at the pool, blah, 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 blah. Like, why did you pay for that?
Yeah.
All it was it's not a status thing. It's just a waste of your money. You could have used that extra. You could have stayed at Caribbean Beach for $300 a night and done a dessert party and a private tour and done just all out. You could have done lightsabers and droids.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy a resort unless you know you're going to use that resort for what that resort is for.
Exactly. No, that's a great one. And before I get to our number one, if you do have a better vacation planning mistake than us, put it in the chat or put it down in the comments below. If you're listening to us over on Spotify, definitely answer that question that is in the Spotify the Spotify app about what is your worst vacation planning mistake. My number one. And I could have gone a lot of ways with this one as well. And I've got a bonus one. You probably have a bonus one as well. But I'm going to go with know your park hours. There is nothing worse than being in Magic Kingdom on a party night and not knowing it's a party night. When they start rounding you up between 4 and 7 o'clock and saying, you don't got a bracelet, you need to get out. That is a really, really bad feeling. So definitely, especially, Halloween season and basically from August through January 1st, if you don't know if it's a party night, make sure you check. Because if you don't have that ticket for the party, you are getting kicked out of there at 7 o'clock. So no fireworks for you, no refunds. You kind of screwed yourself. So definitely want to know those park hours. And then if they ever go back to the early morning magic that's park specific, right now it's kind of every park. But if they ever go back to that, know which parks have that, because one of our tips is getting away from those. Not necessarily... Yeah, don't go to that park because everybody else says, oh, I get an extra hour here. And we say, oh, you guys are going to the wrong park. So if that ever comes back, just know your hours. Get on the website. I've been checking and looking at, hey, what are the hours? When are the fireworks? When are the parades? That kind of stuff. It's best for planning your vacation. This is something that you got to put a little effort into. Put a little effort into it. It'll go a long way at Disney. Call Peter. Stuff's down here. So, all right.
Yeah, and that's part of getting somebody involved that has, especially if you haven't done it very much, and you're relatively new to the process, it's very daunting. So get somebody who is going to help you with those tips. As I said, I became a travel agent because I was walking through, at the time, the Fast Pass line, and somebody said, how do you get over to that line? And my thought was, how do you spend as much money as you did and not know the answer to that question? That was fundamental. That was rudimentary. Like the fast passes and booking fast passes, and the same thing goes for, kind of on that bonus topic with the hotels. Matt kind of mentioned this earlier in my Be Our Guest. Like, know that you have to book your reservations, like for dining. There are so many people that are like, oh, I'm so upset I didn't get into blank and blank and blank and blank. I'm like, listen, when a client calls me and they go, hey, we're going for 4 days, we really want to go to Space 220. I'm like, your vacation's not long enough.
And your camera battery isn't long enough.
I don't understand how it's plugged in. Isn't it? I'm confused. My microphone's working. They're plugged into the same thing. Hold on.
Hold please while Peter figures out his camera. While he's doing that, if you have any questions down at the bottom right now, our website, patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. You can put in the information for your vacation and one of us will contact you and kind of get the ball rolling. Peter is back and we are...
It's unplugged. I figured it out. I'm like, wait a minute, something is off over there. I better go look into this. Yeah, it just blows me away though. Is the bottom line? I mean, it's crazy. People are like, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like,
you didn't try.
Set yourself up for success. You set
Yeah.
yourself up for failure.
Exactly. Well, like I said, another good top 3. Thank you guys all for watching. If you do have a better top 3 for us, or if you have another idea, put it in the comments. Go over to the website, let us know, and you guys can have a good week. We are going to do a Lorcana segment now. So, Peter is
like we can do a deep dive. I just was saving these packs.
Peter is pulling cards right now. So here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. I've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, and we are going to talk a little bit of Lorcana here, and hopefully I can find, that's Pixelborn. I can't find the Lorcana base screen duel. Let's go there. Hey, there's Peter with Princesses and the Mouse.
Nope, I'm gone.
He's gone. He's gone. So Peter picked up 3 packs of Floodborn cards. And while he is checking those out, we're going to talk a little bit about some gameplay strategies and that kind of stuff. Some things that I'm running into. So how much have you played outside of what we've done, Peter?
Not much.
Not much.
No, I've been so busy. I haven't had anything going on. I've been super busy.
Yeah. So I've been playing a little bit on Pixelborn. And running across some of the new decks, which is nice because Pixelborn hasn't put the Inklands cards in yet. They're kind of waiting until the whole release, and that's going to happen later this month. I know that you had talked about already pre-ordering your stuff, so you should be ready to go once it flies. We're going to get back from the trip, and hopefully I'll have some extra income to take care of some of that as well. So, when you're looking at cards, what'd you get? What were your higher rarity cards in that first pack? Anything good?
I'm getting not really. I got a weight set.
Oh, a weight set.
Yeah, I did get a rare Flaversham.
Okay.
Which is decent. Did get a legendary beast, tragic hero.
Nice, a sad beast.
Yeah, sad beast. Right before he sings Evermore, even though this is the animated one. Yep. So yeah, not too exciting there in that first pack. Already had that beast. I'm specifically looking for 12. 12 cards to complete my Floodborn collection.
So, when you're looking at playing right now, what ink colors are you looking at kind of suit more your game style?
Oh, that's a good question. I am a big fan of steel. And I really like playing steel with sapphire, sometimes steel with amethyst, and then sometimes dropping steel out of there and going sapphire and amethyst are kind of the things that I kind of like. I know you've been messing around with it a bunch. What do you have on that? What are you finding is working better for you now?
So I've been really fine tuning a sapphire and steel deck. Using a lot of the steel cards as more of a control type deck. More of the damage type cards and that kind of stuff out of the steel catalog, and then really trying to ramp to a few different things in Sapphire, whether it be ramping to the bell at 10 ink that will lure for 5, or if I get a bunch of items early, really playing to like a Tamatoa or something like that, with a bunch of items on the board. So that'd be getting to an 8 ink there, and then you get Tamatoa, which is a 1 lore plus a lore for every item you have on the board. So,
which can be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I got into a game the other day that I had 6 items on the board, and Tamatoa came in 2 rounds. We went from 5 to 20 in 2 rounds. So yeah.
Nice. Pretty strong. I'm just sleeving some cards.
Yeah. So, if you've got something that's like that, that's like, Tamatoa is a 5/8, so 5 damage, 8 will. It's really a hard card to deal with, especially if you can get it out early before the other player gets to that 5 or 6 ink level. So really trying to ramp that Sapphire really plays well. I know my brother is playing more of like an Amber Song deck, an Amber Steel Song deck. So he's playing Ariel with the Cindy's. So all 3 Cindy's in those 2 decks. Yeah. So, and he's trying to get to that that Steel Cindy that has resist and is a 3 lore, and it's a 5/5. So
yeah, that is an underrated thing. Some of the characters that have like evasive and other such powers, where you get them out and you get them out and you just sit there kind of chuckling to yourself because the other player can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because unless they play something to counteract it, you're just sitting there like, this is questing 2, and you can't even attack them.
Yeah. And that's where I've really stayed with Steel, because I've got so many cards in Steel that can deal damage across the board. So like a Grab Your Swords is 2 across the board, which is really nice.
Oh my god! I'm just kidding.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, it was really just the beginning of the pen. I'm stuck. We've got Tigger, one of a kind, Sleepwalking Donald. This is like a Winnie the Pooh pack. I just got an owl. Hold Still. There's Benja. There's some mouse armor. Bounce. I really like this. This is such a fun card. This Hey Hey.
The Hey Hey Phoenix.
We talked about that before.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to the nice ones. We've got a Huntsman. He suck. Wow. Trash. This was a bad pack. Wow. Yeah, everything. Foil. It's 2 rares, a Radigan's Marvelous Trap, the Huntsman, and then a Pinocchio foil.
Which Pinocchio is it?
Pinocchio.
Oh. So it's
pocketed puppet.
The one that exerts a player?
Yeah. Exert, chosen player. Which is, I mean, it's a good power if we talk about that, because if somebody's trying to protect, one of their important cards, and you can cause it to be exerted and then attack it with other things.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody plays that card, and so it's readied up, and they haven't even been able to use it, and you can shove that Pinocchio out there, exert the opposing player, and then attack it before they even get a chance to use it. That would really cream their corn.
Well, like you had that Sad Beast earlier. I have a lot of people do that to me with the Sad Beast out when they're playing like a Ruby Amethyst deck or something like that. That they'll use cards to exert or do single damage to him so that he doesn't get the 2-card pool every time. So.
What did he just do with those? Yeah. So it has a shift power, but then at the start of your turn, if he has no damage, draw a card.
Yeah.
Oh my good golly, though.
If he has damage, he's a 7 strength.
7 strength? Wow. Yeah, because he gets a +4 strength on top of his normal 3.
Yeah.
So man, you injure him, boy, he gets downright pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sleeving hey.
Sleeve and hey.
Yeah, so Matt, you said that when you first started, your win percentage was right around 10%, and now you said you've got your lifetime win percentage up to nearing 50%, I believe, right?
Yeah. So here I'm right about 40 now. I've run into a harder streak. So once you get out of like the first couple base levels, you start running into grandmasters. So your diamonds and your grandmasters a little bit more often. I don't do well in those games. They tend to play a lot better than I do. But yeah, so I'm a little bit over 40% with the new deck that I just put together. So I took out some cards. So I took out like the Evasive Fox Archer. I took out something else. I can't remember the other card I took out, and put in Hades. That is it's an uninkable 7, but it's basically you turn a card of your choice into ink from the other player's hand. So it really can take care of anything that's super high willpower in one turn. And then I also added the Uninvited Maleficent into it, which is a 5, but it's a 3/6/3, so 3 lore, and it's 3 strength, 6 willpower at a 5 ink. So it's helped out early.
Cheap card for 3 lore.
Yeah. So it's a really good help early card. So if I can get out and say, hey, they're not putting a bunch of characters out early, I can drop her at 5 ink and maybe get a couple of runs out of her before somebody comes out to take care of her. That's a quick 6 lore.
I would just like to talk about how it wasn't 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. I said, hey, have you gotten any Lorcana? And you said, no, I haven't really looked into that. I'm not very interested in it. But now you've got like, there's like 400 and something cards released, and you've got them like memorized. Let's just go down this path. Let's just discuss.
So really, it's more I do this like when I'm working. I'll sit and shuffle cards. So I've got, what is this? An Emerald and Ruby deck. So this is from Series 1. Series 1 starter deck, Emerald Ruby. I'll sit here and shuffle cards while I'm working or while I'm on the phone with somebody, and I'll just throw 7 cards out and read them. Like it's a starting deck. And I've just started to learn all the cards.
Oh, that's a totally normal thing, yeah.
Yeah. And so I've started to learn the cards that way, and then from there playing.
How many cards do you think you have, Matt? How many cards?
I have a considerable amount. I have learned more off of Pixelborn than I have doing this, though.
Right. But for a guy that said, yeah, I'll pick up like a few starter decks, and right, we found you like a Black Friday special or a Cyber Monday deal where you got like all 3 of the starting decks for like $12 each or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would say I'm 800-ish.
More than just the 3 starter decks.
What's that?
You have a couple more than just like the starter decks now.
Yeah. Well, I've got.
Hold on, there's more, everybody. Wait, there's more. Wait, are these on top of the starter decks?
Yes. And then I have my.
So I still think I'm worse than you though, because yeah, each of these I have these yay full. Each of them are about yay full, and there are 12 of them. And that's not even that's not even my rare and above and foils, because I have my rare. Oh my gosh, yeah, I have 6 more deck cards. Okay, all right, so I'm giving you a hard time, and I'm arguably worse. Plus, did you So speaking of into the Inklands, did you end up ordering that booster box?
So I ordered the starter decks. I'm holding on the booster box right now.
Okay, because it's sold out now.
Yeah.
On that website that I gave you. And then, have you noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is good for anybody that's Lorcana interested. I did notice that yeah, I know you got that. oh, pissing contest. Ooh, here's my Tinkerbell.
Oh, you got your tank?
Yeah.
Don't you have another one? Didn't you get Hades? Or you only have the one?
Until now. So I went to a game store where I have been buying a pack of cards every once in a while, kind of whenever I'm in the area.
Moonshot?
Yeah, whatever. Moonshot. Yeah. But here's the deal. The other day, the reason I got 3 Bloodborne packs is because they were the standard retail price of $7 a pack, which is about right. They wanted 10 for the first chapter box, for the first chapter packs.
Really?
So I am curious if they know something that I don't know in terms of, as Inkland releases, perhaps first chapter becomes more scarce.
Well, I know that they don't plan on doing another reprint of first chapter, and they are going to do another reprint of Floodborne.
So what is out there for first chapter is kind of what's out there for first chapter.
I think so. I about called you. I about called you over the weekend because I was at Water Tower Place up in Chicago, and
I would have put a booster box with you on Series 1. Yep, I would have.
It was a Floodborne booster box, but it was a little overpriced. It was at $159, and I was like, that's a little much. So
see, this is the type of card I was talking about. Check out this Emerald Ray.
Yeah.
So he's 5 ink, which is relatively, like, you can get that out by turn 5 or 6. He's evasive, and he gives you 3 lore.
But he's only a 3/3.
Right, but you have to have an evasive character to attack him.
Yeah, or you have to have something that controls any card on the deck. Like, as long as he doesn't have Ward, you can have a Dragon's Fire take him out. You can have a cannon take him out, that kind of stuff. Like, if you've got a 2-fire the cannons in your hand in a steel deck, it's a 2 ink cost to get rid of that 3 lore ray. So yeah, it's so this game is so very matchup dependent.
What a disappointing pack.
You had 3 disappointing packs.
The other one. Sorry, that was even worse than the other one. The first pack was the best one. All right, keep going. This game.
Yeah. So have you gotten any anywhere on like the 3D printing for the lore counters or anything like that?
I could get to that whenever you want. Am I doing that?
You said you were gonna start.
I mentioned that I'm busy.
Yeah, you're busy. You're busy.
This is my non-busy time of the year, and I'm swamped.
There you go. There you go.
And I have to buy a new car.
Well, that's no good. That's no good. Well, if you guys are enjoying the Lorcana stuff, let us know in the comments. Let us know where you are in your Lorcana journey. If you're in the Indianapolis area, let us know where you're playing, what nights, and we might show up and
We'll be there.
we might show up and raid the place with a few players. So hopefully we'll have some more content with some different guys playing up here real soon. My brothers are very interested in playing some here soon, so we're gonna try and make that happen, and once we get that taped, we'll let you guys know. So thank you guys all for watching tonight. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye now. Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel joined us tonight. We had a top 3 segment. We talked about the news, and we talked a little bit about Lorcana as he opened up a few decks of Rise of Floodborn. If you're looking to find us online, we are a lot of different places over on Facebook, at DPI Podcast for the show page, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel page. On Instagram, we are Princesses and the Mouse, Princesses and the Mouse. On Twitter, we are at Disney Insights. Check us out all over the place. Thank you all for watching, listening, liking, sharing, everything that you do to support Disney Planning Insights. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week. Bye now.